Well, hi there. What I want to talk to you about on this video is theoretical math, because that is really what is often taught today many times, and I want you to know what math is all about from a theoretical viewpoint. Now, practical math, as you know, is about numbers and geometry and how to solve problems that come up in everyday life. But mathematicians want to be sure that the reasoning that you're applying to get these results are absolutely correct. Because sometimes when you do practical math, you can make a mistake in your reasoning and come up with an erroneous result. So there's theoretical math. Now here's what theoretical math consists of. You start out with a set of what are called undefined terms. And then you create a set of assumptions about those undefined terms, and those are called axioms. And that's really then what determines that particular math system. There can be many different axiomatic systems, many different math systems. Once you have a set of axioms and undefined terms, you then begin to prove theorems, that you start using logic to derive conclusions. Now, the most familiar example of that is Euclidean geometry, which most of you have probably heard about because it's taught in high school today. It's been taught for over 2,000 years. You start out with a set of axioms about straight lines and things like that, and then you start proving theorems. And that's rigorous math. Now, the problem you get into is rigorous math can become quite nitpicky. You have to be very careful in your proofs that you haven't made a subtle mistake. As a matter of fact, that's often how new mathematics historically has been discovered, is you'll study the reasoning or what's called the proof of something and find out there was a mistake in it, and then that will lead you to a discovery that, oh, there's really something different going on. Theoretical math is a wonderful, marvelous subject, and in fact, we probably wouldn't have modern technology and science, the things that we know about, if it weren't for theoretical math. Because the practical mathematicians use math at an intuitive level, and then they rely on the theoretical mathematicians to be sure that they haven't made any big mistakes. And so that is the way it works in mathematics. And the problem we have today in high school math is for whatever reason it's evolved, today our curriculum very often begins to introduce theoretical math, in my opinion, at a very premature level. Because quite frankly, I don't think a person is ready to understand theoretical math until they've learned a lot of practical math to start with. So that's what your intuition will be based on. But very often we start trying to get kids to prove theorems at a very early age, and it's just not appropriate. They're not ready for it, because theory math is really, it's a harder thing to understand. It's a deeper subject than practical math. And in fact, it's what often turns people off. People are exposed to theoretical math at a premature age, and they think, well, this is what math's about. I don't understand it. I don't like it. And then that's the end of their studying of math. And that to me is a great tragedy. That's why most adults in America today are not what I call math-literate. They don't really know the math they need to know to do a lot of the practical things they're going to be doing. They got turned off at some point. It can happen as early as in elementary school. It can happen in middle school. It can happen in high school. It can happen at any time. You run into a subject, there's too much theory, you don't understand it, you don't have any idea what it's good for, and boom, you're turned off, and that's the end of it. The other day, for example, I was looking at a book for ninth graders, and in that book it was asking them, is the square root of 1.21 rational or irrational? Well, who cares? That's a theoretical concept. And it's not an easy question to answer. It can be answered, but it's not appropriate for a ninth grader. So anyway, that's what theoretical math is all about. And we do discuss that, of course, we get into more theory as our tiers go on, but we don't really launch into theoretical math until tier 7 in our program. Well, this is Dr. Dale. I hope that helped a little bit. I'll talk to you in another video.